Well, and I think the interesting thing, Richard, is the definition of an A, B, C rep is shifting
Oh yeah.
because there's so many more reps as a percentage who are underwater, right? I mean, again, back to that number, 73% of organizations had 70% or more of their reps miss quota last year. So who's your B player? Who's your A player, right?
It's a scary thing to look at. And this comes back to what we were saying before on the first principles. Unless you really understand how that entire revenue machine hangs together, how many discovery calls does it take to get to a demo? How many demos does it take to get here? What are the right disqualification questions to ask? You're gonna have a hard time answering that question. Who are my A's, B's, and C's when I can't go by the lagging indicator of closed won business?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at across all organizations, right, we asked a lot about sales priorities and goals. We saw the big three, come in at the top, which is overall productivity, pipeline management, and sales process and methodology, which is great. But one of the things that was really interesting, as we start to separate the top organizations, right, where were they focusing their time and attention? These are actually things that they've started to nail, right? So they're less focused on their sales process. They're less focused on pipeline management. They started to really quantify what's going on inside of their pipeline. This is something we've seen over and over again at SetSale, but organizations are great at seeing the beginning of their sales funnel, right? We can see how many deals are being opened up. They're great at the end of the sales funnel. They can see how many deals are being closed. Measuring the middle, that they really don't have any instrumentation around. And so historically, what have they done, right? They've trusted, there's a trust relationship, right, between the reps and managers that says, look, if you're hitting your number, I'm not going to poke you on your forecast too much. I'm just going to trust it. The minute they miss, what happens, right? That equation flips, and they'll go even further into, tracking activity metrics and things like that, which is actually, we found counterproductive to having more productive reps. So.
And it's a function, right, with that too, just to put a fine point on it, it's a function of like quality interactions that they're having, because you can automate the hell out of a really, really bad email cadence and get great open rates. But if that's not driving any downstream impacts that will impact your close one business, what difference did it make? How have you solved your problem, right? You're playing your metrics game.
That's right. I mean, looking at where revenue confident orgs were spending their time, rather than those top three fundamentals, the biggest one was ramping new reps, right? They were 73% more likely than their underperforming counterparts to be focusing on ramping reps, right? Recruiting new sales reps, that's obvious, right? Because they're more likely to be growing. But automation and efficiency, the more they can invest in tools and products that are going to help to automate the boring work that the sales team's doing, right? Things like CRM entry, the happier their sales reps are going to be. And here comes the loop, right? We're coming right back into the tech satisfaction of their sales teams, right? Their sales teams are finding that the tech tools that they're providing them are saving them a lot of time and removing some of that micromanagement burden that's going on between the manager and the rep, who's saying, look, you forgot to fill in this field in your CRM, right? That becomes something really helpful for the rep and something really helpful ultimately for the organization, because they're blowing out their numbers.
And that's one of the parts too that's a little bit counterintuitive these days, where it's like, hold on, wait, start with people and then build a really good process and then use the tools to accelerate that process. I mean, the sales stack, I think there's new tools launched every day for that exact problem that you have. But if you're not really building first good people, good process, and then accelerating with technology, you just built a bridge to nowhere.
Yeah, that's right.